Yeah.
That's important.
It is important.
No, if I look at this video, I'm like, this bitch lied.
This bitch did me dirty, I swear.
Bitch fucking lied to me.
Alright, my 15 minutes is starting now. Alright, let me get my notes up. Are we ready? Am I ready? My pants are not panting the way they need to pant. Okay. Alright, hi, welcome to Tequila Time. I am Ricky, the ambassador of Honoré Agave Tequila, here with the wonderful Jessica Lahore today.
Hi!
Oh yeah, so excited to have you here. You look so good.
Thanks, little captain for tequila today.
Captain Crook today.
Oh. I'm ready.
Oh yes. Just real quick before we start, we are filming this so we can raise money for our dream of my dream of having a gay tequila company. So you can support us by joining our WeFunder page, WeFunder/Honoré Agave. It's a $100 minimum to become a part of this dream of ours. So please become an investor in this company and also like and subscribe to our social media channels. I'm here with the Honoré Tequila now, and we're gonna go ahead and pour ourselves a shot.
Yeah!
Oh yes.
I'm such a tequila girl too.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Don't tell me, show me.
Oh yeah.
Is that enough for you?
No, just top me off just a smidge. Just a smidge.
I got you. I'll do myself as well.
There we go.
I'm going to the gym after this.
Oh, we gotta work out those actually, I put the calories in tequila.
And before we toast, I will just state our mission values. We are gay supporting community. First and foremost, we're tired of hating each other. 2, we are challenging traditions. And 3, we are for everyone, not just the gays. So, echa para todos, Jessica.
Cheers.
Ooh, she burns so good.
All 3 of my nipple hairs grew back at the same time.
Woo! What about that secret 4th one?
Woo! We don't talk about
You don't
her.
talk
We
about
don't talk
her?
about Brenda. Leave her alone. She's not in this interview.
Oh, yes? I'm already hot. It's hot in here.
Sorry.
Alright, so I know you do the, you're quite popular in the community.
Oh, thanks.
You have, I would definitely consider you one of the it girls of Denver for sure.
Thanks.
Oh, absolutely. And with your Ask a Queen,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm literally just kind of like asking you the same questions almost.
I know, I just don't have any money to give you. I'm
Damn
sorry.
it! Get out. Not but I do have a couple questions, and we're gonna start with the basic one with, what got you into drag? What, was there a moment where you were just like, you know what, yes? Or was it like a gradual build-up?
You know, I feel like I tell this story all the time, and I say it because a lot of people resonate with the idea that I came from a place of not liking myself, my identity, and being confused, and not wanting people to know that I was queer, not even accepting it myself. So when I saw drag on TV or in person, I called it gross, disgusting, I didn't want to be around it, it made me uncomfortable, and a lot of that's from insecurity. So when I had the opportunity, when I was dating somebody, and they were very into drag, I wanted to be supportive. And I didn't date them for very long, but they took me to a drag show, and I saw a drag queen, you know, on stage in a beautiful gown. She did some ballad, and
do you remember her name?
Ginger Douglas.
Ooh.
And she was fingering herself during
Oh, yes.
the ballad. Now, wait till she reads all these stories, and she's like, I never did that. I'm like, I swear to God, I remember this bitch doing this. Even if it was a joke, and I was like, oh my God, I want to do this.
You want to finger yourself?
I want to finger myself on stage and look pretty.
Oh yes.
And now I get to. No, and so we went to Walmart afterwards, and he already had wigs and some generic makeup, but I got a bra and like a t-shirt, something womanly, and we put ourselves in drag, and I looked awful, but I felt really good about myself. It made me think
it's all about how you feel, right?
Literally! And I turned around, and I loved the transformation, even though it wasn't that drastic, and he was like, you are very ugly, you should never do drag again. So, the progression, it was definitely a progression. It took a long time for me to feel confident coming out of my dorm room in drag, me to even try out drag.
Running across the street in drag.
Literally,
now.
in 4 lanes of traffic just now. We have progressed in life.
People were honking at you, and I also
Yeah.
walked out in these heels, and right away people boop, 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 boop.
And you see, like, it's better than being in a place where they're trying to run you over. When
Exactly.
It's like playing actual Frogger. People stop for you when you look this way. So it was definitely a progression, but when I knew, I knew. When I looked in the mirror, I was like, wow, I love this transformation. I knew that this was going to be a part of me in some capacity, just maybe not to this level.
Yeah, well, like I said, you are one of the it girls now, so I'm definitely glad you pursued that passion.
Yeah.
Like, at first, I feel like with the whole insecurity thing, you know, seeing drag, seeing gay people, it's like, disgusting! And now I'm like,
Or it's almost like a jealousy thing. Like the disgusting piece is a jealousy of seeing people express themselves fully and be exactly who they want to be in any capacity. And you at that time, or me at that time, I was not capable of doing that for myself or admitting it to myself. So part of it was being insecure, part of it was jealousy, part of it was not understanding anything. And as I opened my mind and I explored things and I became comfortable with myself, it's very much, I see those younger queers now in the same position.
I think it starts with the self-love, and I feel like a lot of us struggle with that. My ex was a piece of shit, but if he taught me one thing, it was to love yourself first, and we got rid of him real quick once I learned that.
I completely agree with you, and some people are in different paths. I know kids that are like 9 to 12 years old that have that confidence, and I can't even imagine feeling that way from 9 to 12 years old that soon. I know a lot of it's your environment. You know, we have a lot of social media outlets. Parents play a huge factor in that, family, but it's pretty amazing.
Okay, so I didn't write this question down, but yeah, how old were you when you came out?
I came out at 23.
23?
I was very late. I came out to myself around like 18 as bisexual. I went to college. I was determined to be...
Took the stepping stone?
Yeah, but nobody knew. I didn't come out to the world, the drag world, my family, my coworkers, and every piece of me out until 23. So I was very late. I was 3 years into drag, hiding everything before I came out. Yeah. Of the 10 years, the first 3 years, I made sure nobody knew. Nobody knew my real name. Nobody knew I did drag. Nobody could. If they came up to me in drag and asked, or they would try to out me or whatever, I very much removed myself from the situation.
I don't get the whole outing thing with people. I'm like,
it's
so rude.
It's not.
Yeah, don't do it.
In any capacity. In any
not regarding STDs, sexual orientation,
who you're
pronouns,
sleeping with, outing where you work.
None of it.
That is not your responsibility, your job, your business. Leave people explore their own lives.
Mind your business.
Yes. Support that person in coming out when they're ready.
We're here to support our gays, not, out them.
Literally.
All right, let's go ahead and keep moving along with our professional part of this segment. What was your favorite event that you've performed at?
That's really hard after so many years. I
just went to the best event of the year, just with the divas.
I love the divas, but I don't really perform. I get so much joy from producing events for the Colorado scene, for the Denver scene. I love seeing ideas come to fruition, especially large scale, and making something happen. I'm very much if I say it's going to happen, it will happen. It may not be immediate, but it will
have the drive.
And do.
What's the word?
Dedication, the drive, the
drive. It's something along the lines of drive. My English isn't Englishing right now.
It's the tequila.
Yeah, tequila's my first language.
But I loved performing on the Pride Center stage. I loved some of my first out-of-state gigs where I got to explore different audiences. I loved performing for the first time and the only time in front of my mother. I loved, one and only time. I loved creating an all-ages show where I got to not perform but see kids as young as like 3 or 4 up until like 60s year olds perform on stage for the very first time and feel like that was the first. Like there are so many moments throughout my career that I could lean in onto, but I couldn't pick one that was like my most proud moment.
It's all collective.
There's too many, and I am reminded of them when I get memories on Facebook, or even when I go back on my phone or Snapchat. And it's like, ooh, remember when? You're like, no,
my Snapchat is all pornography, so I can't
now it is, but back then it wasn't. Now it is that self-love came in many ways over the last couple of years. So now it's all dick pics and nudes. But before it was genuine, heartwarming.
Before
moments.
the dicks, there were hearts.
Yes. Now there's holes, from hearts to holes. The story of my Snapchat.
Oh yeah. I swear, no. Being a stripper, I'm just like, everyone, give me your Snapchat, and I'm like, can I see your face? And then they just show me their balls. I'm like,
okay, it's kind of like
Jonathan.
But you respond with googly eyes. Oh, you know the balls by your name? I know those balls.
I've taken that picture where I flipped myself upside down and put googly eyes on my
Shut up!
I've taken the Squidward picture,
Okay, I'm doing this after this. Tonight we'll make that
this is a film studio, so do you need help?
Yes, please.
There's a whole sex swing on the ceiling too. It'll help a lot.
Gosh. Okay, well, that'll be part 2 of the interview.
Yeah. Check out our Twitter page. It's coming out real soon, actually. I'm doing my first nude shoot tomorrow here. I'm excited.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't have a Twitter?
I also had a Twitter, but it's just, it's
sorry. This is the business. We'll talk about the gay shit.
We'll get to the gay shit here soon. Okay. So This was what I was kind of interested about. If you could change anything about the industry that you work in, what would it be and why?
Change something like for me personally or
For
just
anything.
overall?
Overall.
I'm going to do a dual part answer. If I were to change something about my involvement in the industry, I feel like everybody, as they gain momentum in any industry, any hobby, any career, anything that you're gaining attraction to, that you're involved in, your ego will get in the way. And I remember at least a 2 to 3 year period of feeling like the best thing to exist. I definitely exuded that. My attitude was shit. The way I treated people was not awful, but there are moments that I wish I could go back and say, calm down, take that leash, rail it back, and just kind of realize that everybody's doing the exact same things. And if you early on learn to support folks, and this is where it comes to the community-oriented thing, that everybody is part of a pie. And this was the best analogy that I ever got. And as you grow your slice of the pie, other people's slices should grow with yours. You should be able to support people while you're supporting yourself. And when your flowers don't come, and somebody else's come, no matter how long they've been in the game, no matter how new or old or experienced they are, yours will come. But you have to really suppress that ego. And I wish more people in the entertainment industry or just their chosen industry suppress that ego. Not saying give up your confidence.
No, never.
Not give up your empowerment of saying I'm that bitch, but you can be that bitch, and if you really are, you don't have to say you're that bitch.
People that say they're a king are not kings. People who say they're the shit are usually not the shit.
You should not have to go out of your way to bring somebody down to prove that you are that person unless they are challenging you and trying you. That doesn't mean let people walk all over you, but don't do it at the cost of trying to prove yourself. I've had many people talk shit, and sometimes your silence and people watching your success is not revenge, but the best proving point that you did not listen or need to hear that. But fighting back, clapping back, giving in to people, cheering people down, as much as you may not like them, you don't like the way they're treated, it's not going to help your career. It's wasted energy.
And we are recording again. Okay. Is this one still going? Oh my gosh.
Do they both stop?
This one stopped, but we're good. Okay.
The people that live there, you realize that they're on a whole different path, and their spite or their frustration or their ego restricts them from success, and I don't want to be that way.
No, never. Alright, so we'll go on to the next question. Yeah. We had a quick commercial break there, so hopefully we're not missing too much. If you could collaborate with anybody, drag queen, celebrity, family member, friend, who would it be? And what would you do?
Okay, I'm always a multiple part answer kind of bitch. I'm so sorry, I don't have just like one thing. I have genuinely, and I try every year for like the divas, I would love to have a Nina Flowers, Evie Oddly, Willow, and Legend showcase of Colorado. I would love
the stars of Colorado,
and people that like not just paved the way, but were or are staples that have progressed the scene to where we are. I'm talking about Nina Montalla, who's been doing drag here for 50 years. I'm talking about the people that have made it to the next levels, and we want to bring them home and recognize them. I'm talking about the felony misdemeanors, the Janessa B. Fierces, the Victoria Sextons, the Scarlet Reds, the people that I grew up watching. I would love to collaborate with a Legends team, do a huge photo shoot, and make something happen to stamp it. The Bootsy Edwards, and that's Kings, Queens, and everything in between. That's something I would love to
I would love to produce a photo shoot like that. If you could rally up some people,
it's so hard.
I would love to shoot you guys and do a collab. Actually,
I really want that.
The Legends of Colorado.
History matters to me. History of really is important, and a lot of people don't realize that we can't even have this podcast or even me walk across the street without the folks that went through it for us to get to that
They
point.
walked so we could lightly jog, and hopefully us lightly jogging people will be running in the next generation.
If somebody were to cross the street, they could have gotten arrested. They really could have gotten injured or hurt because somebody was very homophobic, whatever the reason is. It's very different now. So and
that is still a possibility, in our generation.
Sure. And we're
careful.
In Colorado, we're a lot more quote unquote safe, and not entirely, but safe in comparison to other cities.
Yeah.
So
in Denver specifically, I feel like, because if you go to the mountains and you're like, oh God,
literally, it's very different. You have one city that is just.
They say it's a red state, but it's just a red diamond. I mean, excuse me, a blue diamond in the middle of a red state.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say if I could collaborate with anybody in that capacity, it would be that. Outside of that, I'm determined to make happen within the next year's time bring back a project that I started years ago called the Queer View, but do like a Queens and Kings of the Round Table, where it is like The View.
Kind of like this.
It's
Yeah.
a collaborative round table where you have staples of individuals that are queer in different capacities, having conversations and bringing in guests that may have tough conversations, differing opinions, and really open up dialogue. And that ranges from people that we may not like or care for or are against us, but I think dialogue can change. That's why I started the Ask Queen Anything thing. Dialogue can change a lot. When it comes to what we're facing in the world right now.
I totally agree with that. No, I want to have a hard to have conversation. I want to do a PrEP special, an HIV special, where we talk about it and we educate ourselves.
And
we've talked about this previously.
We're still having this conversation years later about HIV, PrEP, what it actually means to be on PrEP.
Yeah.
And be
The misinformation of it all,
Yeah.
the discoveries, everything about it. So yes, there will be a future podcast about that. Hard to have conversation, but...
And then for the fun side, I have to just throw this in here real quick. I really want to smoke a blunt with Snoop Dogg and Rihanna so fucking bad. I really want to smoke a blunt with Rihanna and Snoop Dogg.
If I could collab with anybody, it would be Rihanna, and we would do a podcast where we smoke weed.
I really like that. I would be happy saying nothing, and it's just us on camera smoking weed. But if I could talk to them and ask questions,
But you better
oh my
look
god,
great, yeah?
You better look good while you do
Yeah.
it. They're two of the baddest. Like, oh god, I love them so much for various reasons.
I would love for you to invest in this tequila.
Please, I know you're a tequila girl.
Yeah, I know you
down.
are.
I know you throw down, bitch.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go to the next question. Where did you, and if ever, where did you find yourself struggling in your drag career, and what did you do to get past that?
I've struggled in a lot of different capacities. During COVID, I was determined to quit drag and try to find a real person 9-to-5 job.
The real job thing. This is a real job. This is a real job.
This is a real job.
Yeah, like
completely. But at the time, I was like, I don't think I can continue to do this. Like, I
was
really
really hard
tried
for
to
everyone.
quit drag, and the universe pretty much smacked me down and said, no, you're meant to do this. Like, figure out ways to make it work. And I completely rebranded because of that rejection, and that made this persona significantly more successful. So the ability to quit, I have gotten significant pushback from the community that I continue to, in a lot of ways, serve and create opportunities and events for, from nasty comments to threats, the amount of people that have come to places of work of mine and try to get me fired from opportunities and try to remove me from the scene, try to restrict me from what bars and venues I can get into. I hate saying that. I think that there has to be a mixture of me acknowledging that my mental health was not the best, and so I've done the work to improve that. And in light of my mental health not being the best, I was driven twice what I would consider by community members and community interactions to taking my own life, and that is really difficult to say out loud and admit because I don't think it's at fault of the community in any way, but I got to a place of saying, I don't think I can do this. And the day that I went, when I was about to do it, everybody, I was forced to show up and host an event in front of hundreds of people that hated me. I walked into a room of people that genuinely wanted nothing to do with me. Why is she here? We streamed live at every bar and venue in town because of COVID at the time. And all I could do was sit there and just shove it down my throat and bite my tongue, do my job, and I left trying to end it after that. And I don't think people realize that, and you don't bring it up because then people fall into the Jessica's a victim, Jessica brought this on herself thing, and regardless of what happened in those moments, I think struggling with acceptance from the community as one being very business oriented and feeling like people can never relate to me being fun and carefree and enjoyable.
People also don't speak business, so
no, and it's improved now, but at that time, Jessica's monopolizing the scene. Jessica's the Trump of Colorado. Jessica's the T-Rex who was an
I hear a bunch of jealousy is what I hear.
Well, at the time, maybe that is, but I wasn't secure enough to believe that was jealousy oriented. I really felt like it was get rid of her kind
Yeah.
of thing. And obviously I'm still here and I have very thick skin because of it. But I would say acceptance from the community is still to this day, as of even a couple of days ago, proven to be something that I've struggled with. And I understand that during that time period, like I said earlier, that that ego gets in the way.
Yeah.
I'm not the most perfect person in any capacity.
But we grow from our community, and the lack of support you're getting from community, I've been there too.
And we've even
It pushes you to like hate yourself, and you're like, and it's not you, it really is, it's just the lack of people, whether it's jealousy or hatred, it's just like, we don't need to hate each other. Like, I'm not gonna, like, when I first heard about you, it was from the audience, they were like, well, Jessica this, Jessica that, and I was like, I've actually never met Jessica, so I have no opinions, and then we've gotten to work together, and I feel like, a bunch of times now. Like, and every single time I'm just like, when people ask me, oh, you work with Jessica? And I'm like, and she's wonderful to work with.
Well, and we
like one of the best I've worked with so far.
Margaritas, you're like, doesn't it bother you when people like your friends or whatever, or community people just don't like, support, share things? And I've gotten to a place, like I said, of it doesn't bother me because I'm continuing to do what I want, and people will take the time to like, share, and do what they want to do when they want to do it. I can't have that emphasis on that anymore because
you know where I've gotten with that?
Huh?
It gets me off. If I don't have haters, I'm doing something wrong. So cheers to that. Like, somebody will always have a problem with it, and you know what? I'm gonna be laughing my way to the bank.
And I'm
gonna continue to support my community.
I completely agree with that. But I would say honestly, the key struggles with acceptance from the community has been the hardest thing in this career. And to keep pushing and
that's why we're here.
And doing things like the Divas, and doing things like competitions, or doing things like providing show opportunities or new ideas.
I see really big things with the Divas.
It's really hard to do that and whatnot. So
alright. That was a really good answer. Thank you for opening up. What do you think, next question, what do you think was the big break in your career?
That one got me, gal. Yeah. My first big break was being featured, WoW Presents Plus, or WoW Present. You should do a, 10 looks of the month kind of thing. And I posted this robot look, and I was like top 5 with Bob the Drag Queen and several other artists.
I didn't know that.
All over the place. Oh God, it was amazing. And Bob wasn't on Drag Race yet or anything, so it felt
early drag.
It was early, so that really progressed notoriety. I was featured on Hey Queen. People were talking about my photo and then asking about my name, and I was obviously watching from afar. But all this blew up. That was a huge break in my career. Denver-wise, being named best new queen on the scene, breakthrough artist, and top 10 freshest faces early on in my career simultaneously was a huge break. Being part of Drag Nation, being so young and being part of Drag Nation, only like a year in, was a huge piece of influence into my career. Working with. Sorry, I got the tequila tongue now.
Yeah. Is she kicking you in the back of the throat?
She's kicking me in the back of the throat, which usually doesn't happen.
Well, I think he's got his dick in your throat right now, actually.
I wish! Oh my God, I wish! Hello! Episode 3. No?
Yeah.
There are a lot of moments where I felt like my career was progressed slowly but surely. The Ask a Queen thing progressed my career significantly in the last year and a half. I think traveling and doing things that Rue Girls were doing progressed my career. I think being featured...
she's a national queen.
The Miss Jessica thing, when I visited the middle school, that progressed my career entirely. There are small moments and blimps across the way, from opportunities to big, large showcases, that have really brought me to this point. And I'm so grateful for it. But
I'm so happy for you.
Thanks.
You're like the epitome of like...
I told you to shut up.
Okay. Back from our commercial break. Alright. So we have a couple minutes left in this segment. I have one more question for you, and then we'll move on to the gay shit.
Okay.
I have a couple gay
questions.
questions.
I love gay questions.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of the segment. Are you drunk yet? Have another shot? Yeah. What was the most what do you think today is the most challenging part of drag? Is there a challenging part still?
Yes.
What is it?
I'm gonna pour you one too.
Oh yes, I'll go to the gym nice and drunk. I was a stripper, I'm used to it.
I love it. Drag is always gonna be challenging. I think we talked about that ego, but outside of that, from a business perspective, COVID blossomed and grew hundreds of baby entertainers, and not even baby, new found entertainers.
Well, I feel like it forced people back into the closet, and in the closet there's shoes and dresses.
What? But I would say, like, rapport, having, staying in your own lane, not being sideswiped or, like, looking so hard at other folks. I think that's the most challenging thing right now, is that there are hundreds of actively performing entertainers in Colorado that are looking for opportunities, that are fighting for opportunities, that are willing to do it cheaper than you, that do it differently than you.
Yeah.
And you have to look at what you're providing, stay focused on that, support the folks around you, but know that your lane is special and unique, and not get caught up in all the bullshit. I think that's the hardest thing.
So like knowing your worth.
Knowing your worth, but also knowing that it doesn't have to be at the cost of why somebody else is getting more attention than you.
Yeah.
Everyone's fighting for the same shit. That's the hardest thing, is that people they're driving so oversaturated right now in the best ways. But
Yes.
how do you stay relevant and focused in what you offer so that your relevancy does not dissipate or disappear from what everyone else is doing?
Well, I'll say what stood out for me with you the most was you know how to speak that language, business.
I do!
And so with a lot of the other drag queens, I'm just kind of like,
now
well,
it's popular to be a business queen. It was not
it wasn't
popular
before.
many years ago.
But no,
now
like,
it's popular.
you knew your worth right away, and me and my business partner, who's not here right now, my pimp daddy, Davon, like,
Come on, Pimp Dad.
we had discussed some prices, and I was like, this is what I think Jessica's worth, and funny as shit, like, is we had our meeting, and I was like, oh, we actually agreed on the same number. So like, I feel like I saw you for your worth, and I was so proud of you for seeing yourself for your worth, because people are like, oh, well, this is my hourly rate, but I'll do it for this, and I'm like, no, or I'll do it for free, and I'm like, don't do that. I'm like, know your worth and charge when you're supposed to charge. Like, and don't be scared to ask for it.
It's got to be a yes and for me, for both of those, and that's just a personal business choice. When you are working, Bianca Del Rio says it best. She said, the opportunity. She said it in an interview. I can't 100% quote what she said, but the idea of saying yes to gigs, to photos, to opportunity, because you don't know when that's going to be available to you. My showing that I'm worth is I'm a 3-tier system kind of bitch. The first tier that you're getting is what I would like to get paid. That is my worth. The second one is saying, I understand this isn't going to work for everybody, and this is what I'm willing to do it for, okay? And that's because building rapport relationships and long-term relationships will build a successful business. And the third tier, and a career. The third tier is saying, hey, if you can't do the first two genuinely, tell me what you can do, and maybe we can come to an agreement.
Yeah, because there's always
Sometimes
room for interpretation. Yeah,
exactly. And I do that with all ages events. Like I will, to the day I die, no matter how successful I get, say I would love $150. I can say that on camera. I don't mind. $150 for an all ages event. But if you don't have that or anything building up to that, I'm happy to do it for free. I do many events for tip spots and free, depending on my availability and my time, because I'm looking at all ages events, for example, as influencing a younger generation, inspiring the kids that I never got to see as representation.
Yeah, we're not grooming.
Exactly. And the 150 says, this is a business, I have to put out a number. I have to say, like, baseline, I need some money for my time. And sometimes these all ages events have no budget whatsoever.
Yeah.
And me putting that out there says, this is my worth. Me saying I'll do it for free or for less than that says this is something that I care about and I'm passionate about. And that goes with any opportunity.
Like
private events, businesses, and then you have people that are like big names, big companies, big universities, and they want you to do it for free. And I'm like, bitch, I know you got the budget, so don't you fucking try to cheat me or try to get this discounted price, because I'm not the one. I'm not going to do it.
I speak business, I'm not stupid.
But it has to be a yes and I see both sides. Know your worth, but also know what your resume, your rapport, your relationships are going to look like, and your impact. It's not just about exposure. What else can you bring to the table? That's how I run my business. Not everybody agrees with that, but that's how I do it.
Alright, well I think we are running up on our last 10 to 15 minutes here. I got through all the questions, and that was great. With the big corporations, I have to say, learn how to grab them by the balls and milk the money out. That's how that goes.
And that's when people are like, well, we're this multi-million-dollar company, clearly, but we'd love to give you the exposure. Bitch, I don't need exposure. I need you to, I can't pay my rent with exposure from you. I can't pay. I can't go to my landlord and say, "Hey, this is the exposure."
Because this isn't something that you do on the side.
Here's
You're
2
full-time
drink
drag
tickets.
queen.
Yes, this is full time.
Yeah, like.
But when it comes to the kids, honestly, I will go to many all ages events for free.
That's it. I've seen that on your page too. I don't see that with a lot of drag queens that you actually go out and you like talk to kids and do stuff.
I try
like that.
very hard to provide at least one all ages family friendly event each month because it's important for representation to be seen and for a space to be created that's safe.
Because we were those young gay people that were like,
didn't have it. I didn't have it.
We were the age of social media. We're millennials. So you know when we grew up, we didn't see gay people on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. I was in Italy and I was in an Air Force where I didn't see gay people until I moved to California.
Yeah.
Like, at least out gay people,
and
you know?
it changes your idea of what
Yeah.
you do some things.
Yeah, so
and I know
I
many
think that's
artists
really
that'll do
important.
that, but I also know some that won't give the time of day, and that's their own choice. Everybody is entitled to charge and do what they want to do with their business. That's not how I run my business.
Alright, well let's take a good sip because we're going to move on. I have some gay questions.
I love gay questions!
Who's gay? Are you gay?
No. Couldn't be me.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Fucking queers!
Yeah, couldn't even spell that. Okay.
What time?
So I'm
by chance?
gonna. It is 6:30, and I set one last 15-minute timer
You're
so you can be out of here
Thank you,
because you're a performer.
I'm sorry!
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the big one. What do you think is the gayest thing you've done? And we can go with the PG version, or we can go with an X version, or both.
I'll go with both.
You lead.
I'm fine. One of the gayest things, or like queerest things that I've done.
Has anyone ever asked you this?
No. It's hard because I feel like everything in my day-to-day life is so fucking queer and it's so gay. But I'm trying to think of like I'm equating this to like who is most uncomfortable.
Yeah, who did I make uncomfortable and why?
This sounds so dark, and this is so recent. I showed up to a family member's funeral, not straight presenting.
Did you show up in drag?
I didn't show up in drag.
Okay.
I showed up queer and nails, very flamboyant, talked the way I wanted to in front of people that have never seen me in that capacity, and I was a pallbearer, and that made it even more. I was in heels, like a nice little platform heel.
Ones that can go through the grass.
And in a Catholic church, like I think I do so many queer things that like I can't equate it, but the most in terms of reaction of people that were visibly uncomfortable with me being queer, that has to be the moment for me. I showed up and they said, "Oh my god," and I was toned down.
Yeah.
And still they were uncomfortable. So that's like the G-rated version. But I would say like in terms of stereotypical queer, I mean. I've been at many a straight bars in and out of drag and followed somebody to the bathroom. Like, I guess that's pretty queer.
Yeah, it's pretty gay.
That's pretty gay. Pretty gay. Like, my wife's out there getting us a beer. Can you, suck me off real quick, brother? And I'm like, yeah, sure, brother.
I'm gonna soak you off in this accent.
I don't know, like, I'm not, like, naive to bullshit like that.
Oh, yeah? I'll tell you mine.
Yeah.
For my last
tell me yours.
My PG version. For my last one, I did direct Little Mermaid. I did a podcast with Christopher LaFleur, and I think that was one of the gayer things I've done. And you can see my Little Mermaid poster up there.
Oh, that's so cute.
But recently, I want to say one of the gayest things I've done was actually when I went to your event, The Divas, and I stepped out for the first time ever in a dress that I cut super short with no underwear on. Yeah. Oh no, I never took my underwear off because I never wear underwear.
Did you bring extra underwear?
Yeah, I went into my stripper trunk downstairs and I put underwear in my Louis Vuitton bag and I threw it into the crowd.
You took that off and said, "Hi, everybody!"
No. If I would have took that off from the dress, I would have flashed the crowd.
Thank you for not doing that.
Yeah,
it was still at
yeah,
all.
I will say,
fucking bad.
I fell out one time at Meow Wolf and then I fell out one other time at
You didn't fall out on the stage.
But I didn't fall out on stage.
All that matters.
But I had so much, for my PG gay moment, I'm like, I had so much fun. Like, it was great. Like,
that's so queer.
Okay, next question.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Can you tell me a secret that nobody else knows? A gay one?
A gay secret that nobody else knows.
That you're willing to share on camera? Yeah, like.
Oh, I have the perfect one, but I don't know if I want to say it on camera.
Would you like me to lead?
You can lead this one while I think of something.
So, as we're speaking about the Catholic Church here, actually, the first time I ever fooled around with a guy was in Venice, Italy. That church that's right next to that train station that y'all pull up to, if you've ever been. Yeah, no, that's the first time I've ever had my dick sucked, or, sucked dick. Yeah, in the church bathroom, while mass was happening.
Shut up!
So, that's a secret I don't tell most people. I didn't lose my virginity there, because, I guess sucking dick, I lost my oral virginity, but
oral virginity, that's a thing of the past. That's so 2017.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go the same route then. I'm very musically inclined. I love instruments. I can read music and whatnot. At the time, I didn't want to go to this class. It was music theory, so I went on a date and slept with my professor for a day in college.
I didn't sleep with my professor in college, and he failed me.
See? Yeah. That could have been me. That could have been me. And I said, oh no, I need to pass this shit. And I didn't have to go to class. I didn't do well, but I definitely leaned into hitting on this professor. The most attractive in my type? No, but that wasn't the point. And did we pass? And do we have a degree? Hello.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say I told that in Austin a couple weeks ago, so I don't know how much of a secret it's gonna be anymore.
Yeah, well, it's not a secret now. That's for sure.
No. I went a different direction. I was like, can't say anything Denver oriented because bitches will clip this and use it against my will.
Yeah, go ahead. Like I said,
just to laugh about the whole thing.
Tell me a secret.
They eat that shit up though, and then leave little words.
I'm gonna Go ahead.
Okay. My favorite part of this journey, which I've identified for a couple of years now, is that I wake up and I don't overthink how I want to dress, how I want to talk, how I want to act, how I want to respond. I am as queer as I want to be, as feminine, as masculine, and I wake up, some days I want to wear a dress and heels, but look muscly with a bulge in a dress. Some days I want to look tucked back and more femme and very delicate, and my favorite part about being queer is that I'm not worried about anybody else's perception but my own of how I want to wake up that day. Whether I'm in gym clothes and I look like a muscle man, or if I am out in a dress looking dainty and soft and delicate. I love being able to wake up and literally do what I want to do.
So the versatility of it all is kind of...
And it's so hot when people are attracted to that. I'm very much attracted to people. And you're very much like that too, where you're literally in heels right now. This would be considered a mixture of masculine.
This is a dress-up event. Are you kidding me? I was like, how do I gay this up? And I was like, I'm going to put some stilettos on.
Exactly. It's that idea that I just want people to show up how they want to, and that's so hot to me. And being queer or being gay or being non-binary or trans, you should be able to do that. And other people are uncomfortable because they're jealous and they can't do it for themselves.
Exactly.
They wish they could.
I'm sorry you don't look this good.
Yeah! Thank you! Hello!
Oh, that's great. I'm going to say that off the top of my head because, I've been drinking. My favorite part about being gay is finding a top that knows what they are doing.
What does that mean to you? What does know what they're doing mean to you? Are you a size queen?
No, I'm not a size queen, but if you don't get me off, if I'm going to take the time to bottom for you, and you don't get me off, I'm going to be pissed. But if I'm going to take the time to bottom for you, and you can get me off, that is one of the highlights of being gay. I'm sorry.
That's fair.
I actually had the conversation with my own father. I looked with my mom and dad, and I looked at my mom, and I go, so have you ever pegged dad? The look on her face was like, and then my dad was just flushed
and
white.
Yes, wasn't it?
No, it was a huh, and I looked at my mom and my dad and I was like, well, if you haven't experienced that, I was like,
you can't see, but this eye is so wide right now.
It's like
my eyes are so open, like shopping.
So were my dad's.
Good, and so was his hole. Anyway.
Yeah. I hope so. Everyone deserves to feel that. Gay or straight.
2024, if you're over the age of 21 and you have not tried anal, straight, gay, anything in between, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I'm telling you, the best orgasm you'll ever have in your life is when something's up your ass.
Give it a magic marker. You're fine.
I don't like fingers. I like dick.
I'm talking about beginners. You're definitely not one of them.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Professional.
Hello.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't expect it. I'm ready for you.
Oh yes. All right.
I'm ready for you.
We got about 3 minutes left, so we can go ahead and close this out. Do you have any questions for me? Did you have anything? Any gay questions? Any business questions?
I have two. Okay. My first is, how was the transition? This is the business question. How was the transition from doing nightlife to being an entrepreneur, queerpreneur, whatever you called it? And what I mean is I know what it's like to be so involved in the scene in different capacities and almost have people not take you seriously. Do you feel like you are stronger to be taken more seriously now that
I
you're
feel a
investing
lot
so
more
many?
level-minded. Being, you know, a dancer for 4 years, I definitely, went through it. I went from going to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning to waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and the difference to me was night and day. Like, I had fun. I did exactly what I told my parents, everybody. In my 20s, I was like, I'm gonna be a stripper. I want to do it. That sounds fucking fun. Are you kidding me? I'm only gonna be this pretty in my 20s.
And we did it.
Yeah, and I did it, and I had fun, but like, coming up on like 27, 28, I quit during COVID, which was kind of a blessing in disguise, because, as a go-go,
Did you lose people as you transitioned into this next phase of your life?
Oh yeah, no, I thought I had a lot of friends, and they are not enemies, but acquaintances. People that know my name and know how I look naked.
Nightlife people.
Yeah,
and then you
my
realize,
drinking buddies.
Oh, you're not actually there.
But I've come to find my real friends coming into the business, and my mental health has, oh my god, it has gone. This is actually the first winter I've gone through where I wasn't seasonally depressed, because instead of waking up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, again, I wake up at 4 a.m. now, and I see the sun go up and come down. And so I get to have my day job at Starbucks, and then in the afternoons I get to be gay, I get to run my tequila business, I get to run my other parking lot ventures, my pornography venture that,
Your tequila adventure.
Yeah, so all of these ventures,
you're
and
literally a business person.
Yeah,
you're creating a life and a living for yourself.
Yeah, when I'm not gonna lie, the Outfront magazine emailed us yesterday, and I almost teared up. I was like, oh my god, like I think I'm living my dream.
You're seen.
Yeah, like exactly. Like I'm not just here for ass and dick anymore. Like I'm here to run an empire.
Well, speaking of ass and dick, so my non-business question that I've got to ask.
Okay.
If you had a moment, like tell me what comes to mind immediately when I say most uncomfortable hookup experience. Like, and you sat there and you said, I either powered through it or I had to leave. You're like, I'm gonna flip this. I'm done asking shit.
No, we kicked him out. Like I have no problem.
Uncomfortable. You don't have to name them, but tell me worst uncomfortable.
His name starts with. I was actually at my parents' house in Wyoming. And like, you know who you are.
Oh, Wyoming.
Yeah, like. Worst dick I've ever had. He was like, oh yeah, long pencil dick, and he thought he came over after work, ball smelled like a straight person.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the long pencil dick, but when you're a piece of shit, it really does.
Yeah. Didn't warm me up at all, didn't do nothing, didn't want to use lube, he was like, I'm just gonna throw it in.
Didn't want to use lube?
Yeah, red flag.
Yeah, that is a red flag, hello?
So like literally, he maybe fucked me for maybe all of like 30 seconds, and I get off me. He was like, are you gonna suck my dick? I was like, no. Are you gonna get me off? Not like that, you're not. Like. So yeah, his name starts with, last name starts with, like. It was terrible. No, it was the worst. And I tell everybody too, and come to find out, he's kind of a community top, and everyone I've talked to has kind of given me the same reaction. So I know you're watching, and you need to learn how to be a bottom because your top game is not there.
What I'm saying is that this is not a shaming video or a conversation about how you can top or bottom, but if you're not good at it, you might have some differing opinions that might
change.
Yeah,
and another thing too is I don't trust.
Reviews don't lie.
I don't trust strict tops, and I also don't trust tops with no ass, because a top with no ass has no torque. There's no power behind it. And a top that has never bottomed doesn't know what it feels like.
I agree with you. I don't trust strict tops or strict bottoms. I need you to have a minimal understanding of versatility.
Yes.
Minimal understanding.
Yes, verse boys have more fun. It is your time.
Sometimes you're better than others, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was great to have you here. I'm so glad we got to talk. I'm looking forward
really fucking
to working with you in the future. Hecho para todos, please become a part of my dream. We're trying to run this tequila company.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
We're manifesting it, and we have the entire rest of the year. This is going to happen.
This is my year.
Coming to bars, 2025.
Yeah, coming to the shelf, 2025.
Hey! Cheers! Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. I really appreciate that. Woo! All right. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
It's always so much fun to work with you. I know you're in a rush, so I will walk you down because it's 47. You have to go. Yeah. But yes, thank you for coming. I feel a lot more comfortable this time. For the Ask a Queen, I don't know why I was so nervous.
I think you were nervous because I threw you off from what your plan was.